Ever feel like you're stuck on that treadmill, working hard, trying to save, but not really getting ahead?
Yeah.
We've all been there, right?
Absolutely.
And today we're tackling an idea that honestly at first made me think twice. The idea of spending more to earn more. And who better to help us unpack this than Warren Buffett himself?
Right. Because we've all heard it, right? Pinch your pennies, frugal, frugal, frugal. But what if I told you that sometimes strategic spending is like the magic ingredient to building real wealth?
Oh no, that got my attention.
Yeah.
Magic ingredient, I like it. This article you shared, Unlocking Buffett's Secret, really challenges that whole save every penny idea. You know what I mean?
I do.
It even suggests that sometimes holding back on spending can actually hold us back financially.
It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it? The article highlights that for many, constantly conserving resources, often out of necessity, can create a cycle where there's never enough to actually invest in opportunities that could lead to greater wealth.
It's like you're stuck in financial quicksand. The more you try to conserve, the deeper you sink.
Right.
But don't worry, this isn't about throwing all caution to the wind and just going on a crazy spending spree.
No.
It's about being smart and understanding where strategic spending can truly make a difference in our lives, both now and in the future. And the article starts strong by zeroing in on the importance of investing in ourselves, specifically our health.
It's true. It's recognizing that our health is our most valuable asset. This section reminded me of a quote. It's often attributed to Benjamin Franklin. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. And in this case, the knowledge is about our own well-being, and the interest is a longer, healthier, more productive life.
Yes. It's like they say, you can't put a price on good health, but maybe we should at least try.
Right.
Because neglecting our health to save money now can really come back to bite us later with those hefty medical bills.
Exactly. And those unexpected medical expenses can wipe out savings, completely derail financial goals, and even lead to a lot of debt. The article uses Steve Jobs as an example. Even with extraordinary wealth, he couldn't outrun the impact of a medical condition.
It's a powerful reminder that health is a universal concern. It doesn't matter how much money you have, it affects everyone. And is truly the foundation for everything else. So how do we begin to shift our mindset to see healthcare as an investment rather than just another expense?
Well, it's about playing the long game with our well-being. Just like we invest in our education or our careers to increase our earning potential, right? Investing in our health through things like nutritious food, regular checkups, exercise, all of that is an investment in our future ability to earn.
It's like preventative maintenance for our most important asset, ourselves.
Well, exactly.
Now, the article takes a really interesting turn here. It suggests that we should view money not just as something to be hoarded, but as a tool to actually create more value.
Yeah.
And it specifically highlights entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. They share a very inspiring story of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She took a chance and invested her life savings in her product, and well, the rest is history. Now, while not every entrepreneurial venture will become a billion-dollar company,
I mean, we can dream, right?
we can always dream. But the point is that Sarah Blakely's story illustrates a really powerful principle. Sometimes calculated risk is essential for achieving that exponential growth, even outside of those traditional investment avenues.
That's right. It's about strategically using your resources to create something new, something valuable. And it doesn't have to be on the scale of Spanx. It could be investing in a new skill that could lead to a promotion, starting a side hustle to diversify your income streams, or even funding a passion project that brings in some extra cash.
Exactly. It's about shifting our perspective and seeing money not just as something to be saved and spent, but as a tool for creation and growth. It's about asking ourselves, how can I use this money to create more opportunities and potentially increase my earning power?
So we've covered investing in our health and using money as a tool to create new opportunities. Now let's move on to something that might seem a bit more familiar, saving for retirement. But even here, the article encourages us to think differently. It stresses the importance of starting early, even if we can only save small amounts.
It's about harnessing the magic of compounding. Okay.
Which frankly, everyone should understand.
Right.
Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill.
I like that visual.
Right. The more time that snowball has to roll, the bigger it gets.
Right.
And it's the same thing with your money. The earlier you start, the more time it has to gather and grow.
So even if someone feels like they're just scraping by, like they're living paycheck to paycheck, starting small with retirement savings is still worthwhile.
Absolutely. Because it's not about the size of the initial investment, it's the consistency and the time it has to grow.
Compound interest, everybody.
Exactly. So even small contributions made regularly over time can accumulate significantly, especially when we factor in that compound interest. Let's say, for example, you start investing just $50 a month at age 25. With an average annual return of 7% by the time you reach 65, you would have accumulated over $100,000.
Wow. See, numbers like that really paint a picture. So it's less about making those drastic sacrifices in the present and more about those small, consistent choices that can set our future selves up for success. Absolutely. The article encourages us to view retirement savings not as deprivation today, but as an investment in our freedom and flexibility for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like paying it forward to your future self.
Yeah.
You work hard now, why not make sure your future self can enjoy the fruits of that labor? Right.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears a bit, the article also dives into a really interesting and often overlooked aspect of building wealth, and that's relationships.
You know, it's funny you should mention that because I'm a huge believer in the power of connection. But the article takes it a step further, claiming that wealthy individuals invest heavily in their networks. So what's the thinking there? Is it just about rubbing elbows with the right people?
It's not about hobnobbing or collecting business cards. It's about recognizing that authentic relationships built on shared interests, mutual respect, and a genuine desire to connect can open doors to opportunities that might not otherwise be available. It's about surrounding yourself with individuals who challenge you, inspire you, and provide you with different perspectives.
They highlight Oprah Winfrey as a great example, right?
They do. Oprah has often credited mentorship and the opportunities that she gained through networking as being instrumental to her incredible success.
Sure.
And she understood the importance of connecting with people from diverse backgrounds, industries, and experiences.
So it's not just what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly.
And more importantly, who knows you.
Precisely. And building a strong network, both personally and professionally, can lead to some really interesting things like career advancement, new business ventures, or even just being exposed to different ideas that could spark innovation and growth.
It's like having your own personal board of advisors.
Right.
But instead of stuffy board meetings, it's just, grabbing coffee or having a Zoom call.
Exactly. And just like any worthwhile investment, nurturing these relationships takes time and effort. But the potential returns, both personally and professionally, can be substantial.
Couldn't agree more. Now the article also stresses the importance of continuous learning. It points out that many successful individuals are what they call voracious learners, always seeking out new knowledge and skills. And, it's funny how learning is often one of the first things to fall by the wayside when we're busy.
I know. It's so easy to think that once you've finished your formal education, that's it, learning is done.
Right.
But in today's rapidly evolving world, continuous learning is no longer optional. It's essential for staying relevant, adaptable, and frankly, ahead of the curve. The article uses Bill Gates as a prime example. He's someone known for his intellectual curiosity and dedication to continuous learning. He reportedly reads around 50 books a year.
50 books a year? I'm not sure he sleeps.
I don't know that we have time for that deep dive.
That's a whole other episode.
But the takeaway here is that investing in our knowledge and skills, regardless of our profession or passions, is an investment in our future earning potential.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that the more we know, the more valuable we become in the marketplace. And that doesn't have to be formal education or technical skills either. Yeah. It could be something as simple as learning a new language, taking up a creative hobby, or even just staying informed about current events.
It's about cultivating a mindset of curiosity, embracing new challenges, and being open to expanding your knowledge base throughout your life.
I love that. Now, the final point the article makes really kind of threw me for a loop. It talks about when not to save. It cautions against being penny wise and pound foolish, suggesting that sometimes trying to save in the wrong areas can actually backfire and end up costing us more in the long run. It seems a little counterintuitive, right? Like, are we saying just throw caution to the wind?
Not at all. What we're saying is that sometimes spending money strategically can actually save us more money and hassle in the long run.
Okay, I need an example. When would being too frugal actually backfire on you?
Let's say, for instance, you're putting off essential home repairs. Your roof has a small leak, but you think, it's a small leak, I'll worry about it later. Delaying that seemingly minor repair could lead to significant water damage, mold issues, and ultimately a much larger expense down the line.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like ignoring that cavity, hoping it will magically disappear.
Exactly.
We all know that's not how it works. Delaying treatment just leads to more pain and a bigger bill from the dentist in the end.
Exactly. Or imagine skimping on car maintenance to save a few bucks.
Sure.
You might save in the short term, But neglecting regular oil changes or ignoring that strange noise coming from your engine could lead to a costly breakdown, or even worse, put your safety at risk when you're on the road.
That's a great point. So it's about recognizing that sometimes spending a little upfront can prevent much larger expenses and headaches down the road.
Absolutely.
It's about being proactive rather than reactive with our spending. It's about thinking ahead and making smart choices that protect our investments, whether it's our homes, our cars, or even ourselves.
Precisely. It's about recognizing those moments where spending is actually the smarter financial decision in the long run.
It's like they say, sometimes you have to spend money to make money.
Exactly.
And that applies to so many aspects of our lives.
It does.
Wow, this entire deep dive has been a real eye-opener. It's completely changed my perspective on spending and saving. It's not about deprivation, it's about strategy.
Absolutely. It's about moving away from that scarcity mindset and embracing a growth mindset when it comes to our finances.
It's about seeing the possibilities, not just the limitations.
Exactly.
So for our listeners out there who are eager to put these ideas into action, where do we even begin? It can feel a bit overwhelming to think about tackling all of this at once.
You're absolutely right. The key is to start small. Pick one area that really resonates with you and set a small, achievable goal for yourself.
All steps, right?
Exactly. Even those small steps can make a big difference over time.
Progress, not perfection.
Precisely. So for instance, let's say networking has been on your mind. Look for a local industry event or join an online professional group.